the fact that, like I said, it was back and forth. It was compelling because you didn't know what was going to happen next, and it seemed like every game almost was trying to top the game before it.
It was that was by far the best series in the playoffs. And the only one that even could come close to it was that Heat-Celtics series, which ended on a blocked dunk. Like, that ended the series. Game 7, I think it was Tatum goes for the dunk. Bam Adebayo comes basically out of nowhere, fingertips it, blocks it. There's like 1 second left in Game 7. Crazy. Like, I didn't think it would get much crazier than when the year before Kawhi hit that 3 in the Game 7 for the Raptors. I don't remember who they were playing. I think it was the Bucks, I think. But it like bounced all over the rim and went in, and he was like crouched in the corner. Yeah, but the NBA playoffs and the restart with the bubble, not gonna lie, I actually really liked that. I think I liked that better than I liked watching NBA regularly. Yeah. Unfortunately, the Lakers won, which is just big fucking poo-poo on the season.
Well, my problem is it gives LeBron another fucking title where he really didn't fucking deserve it, and they gave him the fucking MVP on top of it, which is even more insulting because he wasn't the best player on that team through that series. It was clearly Anthony Davis, so the whole thing is bullshit to me.
I completely agree. Anthony Davis was the best player on that team basically all season. And he got rewarded for it.
You can make the argument that Anthony Davis was the fucking MVP of the league.
Yep. He definitely could have been. $190 million over the next, was it 4 years, I think it is his contract.
I mean, based on the signings that have just happened, the Lakers are going to be a problem for a while. The rest of the West seems hard to figure out because, I mean, now we've lost Klay Thompson to a different leg injury.
Mass exodus of stars.
Now in Washington, who knows where the hell James Harden's going to be by the time the season starts. Like, the path to the Western Conference Finals, it seems ironic. But LeBron left the East where he was guaranteed to get into the Eastern Conference Finals every year. He went to the West, and now it seems like it's being paved for him in the West. And everyone's leaving and going to the East again.
Seriously, it's absolutely like that. It's crazy. Like you said, Durant the year before, he goes to the Nets. Then you've got Russell Westbrook goes from the Thunder to the Rockets, from the Rockets to the Wizards. Yeah. So like we're waiting on James Harden, who's probably going to be going to the Nets, I think, were the last team that was discussing.
The Nets are very interested in him. Apparently there is the idea that Philly might get him, but Philly's going to have to give up Ben Simmons.
And we don't want to see Ben Simmons have to go to a place where he's going to need a jump shot, because we all know that shit ain't coming.
Yeah, but if I was Philly, I wouldn't be against trying to grab Harden, put him together with Embiid, and see what they can do. I mean, it's definitely not enough, but
it's something.
Worth it.
Speaking of something, we got Dan O'Shea joining us on the line. Dan O'Shea, how you doing?
I'm good. I prefer being called a thing rather than a person.
You are absolutely a thing. So we're talking sports that we've missed in the last 5 months. But real quick, catch us up on you. What have you been up to since July 22nd?
I've done some things. I moved to spoil my previous location. I was in New York City, and I have now officially moved out of New York State. But I don't know if we're giving that away fully yet. So, moving's fun. That was recent, and still unpacking and all that fun stuff. Other than that, went to Aruba when times weren't too bad, and we were safe, getting tested and everything. And that was awesome, and I'm glad we took that opportunity because we've pretty much been in self-quarantine since then.
Yeah. So let me just ask you a question. Are you in a neighboring state?
I am.
Okay. All right. I'm going to try and figure out where you are.
Not Jersey.
My first guess was Connecticut.
Are we giving it up? Because I can tell you.
Yeah, let's do it. Where are you at?
Yes, I am in Connecticut. I am a resident of Stamford.
Oh, you going to ESPN? Oh, sorry, no, you working for WWE?
Not yet, eventually, hopefully.
Oh, man, that is a dream job. All right.
For you, sir.
So, Connecticut.
It's dope here. Stanford's awesome. I can't wait for stuff to be open back up with fingers crossed with these vaccines because it's an awesome little city.
My brother lives in Danbury.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I've only been through Danbury. I haven't stopped in there yet, but I've heard similar things.
Good food places.
I like
Frank Pepe's Pizza.
I like New Britain. They've got this soda company that I like. But that's great. Connecticut. You went to Aruba. Anything else?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head as far as big events, just trying to live life through this quarantine.
I mean, somehow, one thing that I'm thankful for, somehow Obi Toppin fell to the Knicks.
I know you were hype on him.
So
that was pretty sweet. I wasn't as high as some. I wasn't as low as some. I was middling on him. I'm warming to him breaking athletic records for Knicks rookies already. So that's kind of cool.
Like, it's just, and we'll talk about this in a minute, but just thinking about what the Knicks are going to have down low is just physical intimidation with Obi Toppin and Mitchell Robinson. It's nuts. The only problem is, who's going to be the starting point guard?
Yeah, you guys don't have a guard at all.
We've got Dennis Smith Jr. Alfred Payton can run the point. Like, you don't want him to be your starter.
None of this sounds good.
No.
I don't know why we brought back Alfred Payton, honestly. There were a lot of other people that we should have brought back over him. I've got to imagine they're thinking of Frank Ntilikina. They drafted quickly as well. He looks pretty solid. I'm excited to see what he can do. We got Austin Rivers, so he's probably our best starting point guard right now.
Yeah.
And, he's not great, but he's an improvement over anything we had there before. So,
my guess for why they brought him back is because they released him and he took a $5 million pay cut and is willing to play. That's probably why. But he is, like I said, I don't want him to be my starting point guard, but get him regular minutes at the 2, and I think you'll get good production from him. That's what I would expect. That's what I'd be looking for. But, yeah, Austin Rivers probably the best option at point guard. I don't know. The Knicks are already depressing me, so let's move on. Real quick, Dan O'Shea, the bubble, the games in the bubble, the playoffs. What were your thoughts?
I thought the bubble worked really well. They had almost 0 cases, even when players sometimes violated the bubble.
Yeah. Stupids.
But I thought it worked surprisingly well. I don't. From what I'm hearing, it sounds like they might not do a full bubble this time. They might do, regional bubbles or something like that. And the NHL is also considering something along similar lines. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do it for this year. Now that it's back to spiking worse than it ever has, and how they're going to work on containing it. But as far as the bubble went, I thought it was good. I thought it was. I also liked that they allowed people to opt out. I think, that's important. You never know if they've got family members that might be high risk, or some of them
had children
or babies and whatnot. So, I thought they handled it remarkably well.
They did, and speaking about the players opting out, I've never heard so many people talk so much shit about how other people are receiving money than I have when people were complaining that players opting out, like Mike Conley, were getting money. like, first of all, they're salaried. You probably work hourly, so calm the fuck down. Second of all, it doesn't affect you. Like, I don't get it. But yeah, the best part of the bubble was you could hear everything. Like, you could hear players sneezing. That was great. When you heard what's his name from Memphis? The forward, Grant, when he sneezed and Jalik backed away from him. Like, that was.
I forgot about that.
That was so funny. Like, I really, really think the bubble's a good idea. I think that it should be done. I think the NFL should be doing it. I think it's a great idea. It worked. People loved it. Like, people loved watching those games. It was a little weird at first because, the worst part about professional basketball is hearing those fucking sneakers squeaking on the court. That is the worst part of a game, besides having to watch players who shouldn't be shooting threes jack up half-court shots on the red. But I loved the bubble. I am in favor of doing bubbles for the rest of forever.
Yeah, and across all sports, it's certainly been weird not having crowd noise. But it is funny that you can hear the players. It did for me take a while to be able to get into games that without the crowd noise, because I didn't realize how big of a factor that plays when people are chanting and stuff, and how much more exciting that makes to watch it, let alone play it. I can't imagine the players adapting, but
or even better when you have a wild crowd and the game's real close, and then a player on your favorite team hits a dagger to silence the team's fans. That's the best. When they're trying to help build this momentum and you just fucking kill it. That I did miss.
Let's also think about what it does to the NFL. Like, what would Buffalo be if they had the Buffalo Mafia?
Yeah.
Like, that's an insane crowd that allows for a lot of noise. And if they had them, especially now that we're thinking about the playoffs coming around and Buffalo might be hosting a game, what would it be for a Buffalo playoff game against whoever it is in the AFC that's stacked?
I don't know. But guys, we do just have to take a quick break, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes, all right? You were listening to